Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. Nunavut has tabled its 2026-27 budget. Spending is projected at almost $3.7 billion, the most in the territory's history. The largest spending increase will be in the Department of Health. It includes more money for doctors, long-term care, and the operation of the new Akusariak Treatment Center in Iqaluit. Education spending will focus on more money for teachers and more financial support for students pursuing post-secondary education and training. Family services will see a boost in funding for daycare and early childhood education, along with more staff for suicide response. Nunavut's premier says there's more need in the territory than there is money.
Ultimately, it comes down to limited resources. I'd love it if we had a bigger budget to spend, if we had more resource revenue, or if we had more sources of revenue as a government, because we love providing for Nunavut. We love rolling out new programs, expanding programs.
The budget is also set to double the Nunavut Child Benefit. Nunavut Housing Corporation's budget will rise to almost $300 million. The budget will now be debated in the legislature. The Nunavut government will aim to have it passed by the end of the session in June. A Betchakon, Northwest Territories home was damaged in a fire early Sunday morning. RCMP say the home was empty at the time of the fire and no injuries were reported. They also say the fire is not considered suspicious. The investigation is now with the Office of the Fire Marshal. This is the second residential fire in the community in 5 months amid a community housing crisis. As Canada's wildfire seasons keep getting worse, the federal government has announced new resources. It's leased 10 new firefighting aircraft, and they'll be available for use by provinces and territories beginning this season.
There'll be 5 planes and 5 heavy-lift helicopters, and they will be pre-positioned at locations across the country, and that will be based on anticipated fire activity. And these aircraft can deliver large volumes of water or fire retardant, and that helps us slow the spread of wildfires, really to act as a support to ground crews as well, and to protect structures, and that's especially important in hard-to-reach areas of our country.
As the federal government invests in more firefighting resources, some people may be wondering how they can protect their properties. As the snow disappears and northerners start to tidy their yards, it's a good time to prepare for potential wildfires. Experts recommend clearing flammable material near your home.
In the immediate zone around your house, that's right from the edge to 1.5 meters, about 5 feet. We want to remove anything that could ignite, or that embers from another fire elsewhere could ignite and immediately cause fire to catch in your home. So, obvious things perhaps like propane tanks, but even less obvious things, and such as wood piles. I mean, that might be somewhat obvious, but having a stretch there where, if you have a nice looking gravel strip around, for example, I know there's a tendency to want to put plants right up against your home, and if you're going to do that, please make sure they're fire resistant. But probably better if those are a little further away. For example, if you have a wood fence that attaches to your home, probably best putting a metal gate between that fence and your home, because that sort of is a break.
Court proceedings for a Nunavut MLA charged with 6 historical sexual assault charges have been postponed. Alexandra Samuktuk was set to appear in court in Iqaluit this morning. Samuktuk's lawyer appeared by video. She says she's still waiting for disclosure in the case. Samuktuk was charged in January. Nunavut RCMP say the charges relate to alleged assaults in 1982 and 83. Samuktuk is the MLA for Rankin Inlet North, Chesterfield Inlet. He has said he will not step down from the job while the charges are before the court. He's set to make an appearance in Iqaluit on August 24th. For years, there have been talks about having more public washrooms in downtown Yellowknife, but not much seems to have changed. Some leaders in the city are once again voicing the need for them. Devon Trudinick brings us that story.
Jordan Crosby says he's grown numb to the sight of people urinating and defecating on the street right behind his local business.
Be like, come on, man, like, I got a bathroom inside or whatever, but No, it just feels like part of the day.
He's the co-owner of Overlander Sports and says something needs to change, but he's not sure what. People have been calling for more public bathrooms in downtown Yellowknife for years. Now even RCMP suggests the idea could help clean up the streets, literally. RCMP Inspector Byron Donovan suggested the idea to CBC News earlier this month during a foot patrol.
If there was something available for people to use, that it's an outside space, that's not inside a business, available, safe place to use, I think you would see people using them.
At the Salvation Army's men's shelter, dozens of people ask to use restrooms daily, many of them unhoused. That's according to Executive Director Tony Brushett. Brushett says more washrooms downtown would benefit not only the city's most vulnerable, but the broader public too.
100% we do need to have something available for the general public, and our vulnerable homeless population are part of the general public. They should be able to walk into a public washroom without fear of being turned away or the doors locked.
At City Hall, there's some pushback. Garrett Cochran is a Yellowknife City Councillor. He says there are several public washrooms already available downtown, some at Sombiquet Park, others at City Hall and the public library.
It's a 3-minute walk anywhere. If they decided so to take maybe a quick little jaunt over here, they would have access towards it.
But more bathrooms could be in the cards at a later time, according to Yellowknife's city manager.
If there was a desire in the public, or if this council or the next council are interested in pursuing that question, we'd look into it, we'd build a business case, and we'd present it to council and see whether or not there's a case to be made to fund it.
Van Dyne says there would be some things the city would need to iron out, like where they would go. He also says that if there were more city washrooms downtown, the city would be responsible for cleaning them. Devin Trudinick, CBC News, Yellowknife.
An international tribunal into missing Indigenous children and unmarked graves is underway in Montreal this week. The Permanent People's Tribunal will present evidence on crimes committed through Canada's residential school system. Steve Rukavina explains how the trial works and what it hopes to accomplish.
An international tribunal is holding hearings in Montreal this week, looking at how Canada's residential school system caused decades of pain and suffering that continue to this day. The Permanent People's Tribunal is a European body that looks at social justice and human rights cases around the world. It was a Montreal women's shelter that had the idea to invite the tribunal here.
We wrote a very strong letter explaining that we feel like, Canada has committed crimes against humanity and genocide against Indigenous people. And they're like, yeah, we think so too. Like, why haven't you called us sooner?
The hearings will play out like a trial. A panel of 7 judges made up of human rights experts from Canada and around the world will hear evidence, and that will include testimony from experts and survivors.
There is more than enough evidence to demonstrate and meet the legal tests for everything that's being alleged.
Those allegations cover 3 broad themes: the systemic physical, sexual, and cultural abuse of Indigenous children at residential schools and the intergenerational trauma that continues, the unmarked graves of thousands of children who died attending those schools, and the practice of forced sterilization of Indigenous women.
It's really hard evidence to hear. Is it heartbreaking? Yes. Is it shocking? It should be. But at the end of the day, none of this is new. It's just really contextualizing it so that this court of opinion can make a determination of whether or not these crimes occurred.
Organizers of this week's tribunal offered the Canadian government a chance to defend itself, but a spokesperson for the government said it won't participate and will instead focus on existing reconciliation initiatives. This tribunal has no official legal standing and its decisions aren't binding, but supporters say it's still meaningful.
For the survivors and communities, it's another opportunity for them to be heard and acknowledged, the work that they're doing and the importance of it.
Organizers say these hearings are a crucial educational tool for non-Indigenous people, especially with growing attempts to minimize or deny what happened at residential schools.
We live in this weird time where we have a whole bunch of denialists that are demanding the bodies. In any other genocide, does anyone demand the bodies be unburied? Right? It's grotesque, quite frankly.
The tribunal will issue an interim ruling at the end of this week with a full ruling expected next fall. Steve Rukavina, CBC News, Montreal.
Pope Leo has made a historic apology for the Catholic Church's role in legitimizing slavery in past centuries and for failing to condemn it until the late 1800s. The groundbreaking statement came in a papal document focusing on artificial intelligence and the American-born Pope's concerns about the technology. The CBC's Megan Williams has those details.
Pope Leo's historic apology comes as part of his encyclical or pastoral letter, the first of his papacy.
Artificial intelligence needs to be disarmed. The word is strong, I know, but deliberately chosen because this moment needs words capable of attracting attention, awakening consciences, and indicating paths forward for humanity.
Now, high on the Pope's list of concerns is how AI affects workers. He's worried about it leading to new forms of exploitation. Data control centers, workers there, as well as workers and children extracting minerals used in digital technology. He said that can constitute a kind of modern-day slavery, and that's where he makes the link to slavery in the past and the Catholic Church's role in it. This is the first time a pope has publicly apologized, not for the role of Christians in transatlantic slavery, they've apologized for that in the past, but the role of the Church in actually bolstering and enforcing slavery. So it is very much part of the lens through which he's looking at artificial intelligence, which is one of worker exploitation. And it links to the previous Pope Leo XIII, his concerns. During the Industrial Revolution, 135 years ago, he came out with a paper denouncing the exploitation of workers and talking about workers' rights.
Let's not fear artificial intelligence, but constantly keep the question of the human in play. We cannot be careless with our most powerful technical instruments.
Pope Leo in this document also talks about war and the use of artificial intelligence in war, warning that we can't have algorithms deciding what happens in war, and they don't make wars moral. Megan Williams, CBC News, Toronto.
This is our living story.
Now is the time.
I make people believe that impossible things are possible.
Looking for stories about Indigenous peoples from across the country?
We know where you can find them.
Dinez Hotier, my name is Edzi Ulevrin, and I'm Tahltan Nation and Taku-River Tlingit First Nation.
CBC Indigenous.
My name is Brett Forster, and I'm from the Chippewas of Kettle and Stony Point First Nation.
Creative.
Engaging.
Informative.
Grounded in First Nation.
Métis.
And Inuit communities.
You're back.
I'm back. Anything else going on?
Mom?
Nope. Where have you been for the past 15 years?
On the run.
You are done with all the crime, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were going to steal us a diamond. Are you going to be able to keep it together on this one?
I am nothing if not profesh.
Don't make me use this.
Hi.
This is Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Jessica, she seems great.
We should all go out sometime.
I would love that.
Wild Cards on CBC Gem.
You know what they say, Crabtree? Happy wife, happy life.
What have you done?
Seems the city of Toronto has a paid killer on the books.
In order to solve a crime, we are going to need to commit one.
Local news is in decline, and this is bad news for all of us. That's why CBC News is putting more journalists in more places across Canada, because local news is big news.
The The former mayor of Carmacks, Yukon, Lee Bodie, has died. Bodie served as mayor for over a decade until fall of 2024. A number of people around the territory are remembering him fondly. Current Carmacks mayor Justin LaChance says Bodie was, quote, a true friend, a kind neighbor, and a passionate champion for Carmacks. An all-female group of U.S. senators are on a diplomatic tour of the Arctic. It's an effort to reassure U.S. allies amidst current political tension. The group stopped in Iqaluit on Friday. They're meeting officials in Nunavut, Greenland, Svalbard, and Iceland. Last week, the Pentagon announced that the U.S. would pause participation on a joint defense board with Canada that dates back to the Second World War. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska told CBC News she believes it's the wrong approach, given the shared interests between the two countries.
We may have tensions between our capitals, but when we're talking military to military, it is seamless. When we're talking Indigenous people's priorities, what we heard from your premier today, concerns about housing, concerns about high costs, mental health, how we keep our children here, how we build a workforce, these are exactly the same concerns that we face in the U.S. Arctic, in Alaska.
Murkowski hopes to come away from this trip with a deeper appreciation for the challenges Arctic communities face with military operations and combating climate change. After visiting Canada, Greenland, and Norway over the weekend, the senators are set to spend the next couple of days in Iceland. Premiers from Western Canada are gathered for a conference in Alberta, but looming over the agenda is Alberta's fall vote on whether to hold a binding referendum on leaving Canada. As Julia Wong explains, it comes as the Prime Minister made his most pointed remarks yet about Alberta's plan.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is not holding back when it comes to Alberta's separation referendum question. Monday, he made his strongest comments yet about Albertans voting on whether the province should stay in the country or start the process to hold a binding referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada. Carney says the United Conservative Party did not run on separation during the last provincial election and says the issue is not part of its mandate.
That is a very dangerous bluff. That is a very dangerous bluff. I saw firsthand what happened in the United Kingdom when the view was vote for this, it'll be soft, and then we'll negotiate, etc. And they ended up, and they're still 10 years later trying to undo what people didn't think they were voting for, but what they ended up having.
This is the point, that this is a decision for Albertans to make. And what I think the Prime Minister and I have done a lot to demonstrate how Canada and Alberta can work together on shared interests. But I think it's also incumbent upon everyone not to dismiss Albertans' legitimate grievances.
In a statement, Smith says this is a decision for Albertans, not Ottawa. I would also remind all Canadians that we should not dismiss the legitimate grievances of Albertans. The exchange comes as Western premiers meet in Alberta today. Topics such as trade and economic development would normally be top of the agenda, but Alberta's separation question is expected to overshadow the meeting. And it comes as a new Angus Reid poll shows 60% of Albertans would vote to stay in the country and 35% would vote to leave, though 51% also say the question is confusing.
One, we're starting to possibly see an uptick in the number of people who'd like to separate. Two, there's maybe slightly more people who want to send a message to Ottawa and start a process about leaving, even if ultimately they don't wish to leave. Or three, they're simply confused by the question.
The Western Premiers Conference concludes Tuesday. Julia Wong, CBC News, Kananaskis Village, Alberta.
Questions about the Alberta referendum dominated the opening of the Western Premiers meeting. Reporters asked Northwest Territories Premier R.J. Simpson and Yukon Premier Currie Dixon what they thought. Here's what they said.
Well, we're still a long ways off from anything actually happening here. And so we're keeping an eye on what's going on. We'll keep an eye on the vote. Like I said, our systems are so intertwined, especially our medical system. So I understand how close this is to people, how personal this is. But a lot of people have those family connections across Canada. People have relatives in Alberta. This place is a magnet for people from across Canada. And that is our strength as a country. And I feel confident that Albertans see that as well.
I've been in elected office since on and off since 2011, and over that time I've seen Alberta play an incredibly important leadership role in the Confederation. And While I know that Albertans have a number of grievances with the federal government, it's my hope that Alberta will continue to stay in the Confederation and play that leadership role that we've seen over the last 15 years in my case.
Both premiers said the decision is in the hands of Alberta voters. Nunavut Premier John Mayne is not at the meeting because the Nunavut legislature is in session. Residents of Carmacks, Yukon were treated to a free wrestling show on Saturday. The Canadian Wrestling Federation was in town all last week to entertain and engage with the community. TJ Deere takes us there.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
This is where every pro wrestler wants to be, the grandest stage of them all. The road to getting here is long, but Carmacks got a taste of what it's like. The Canadian Wrestling Federation was in town last week. It was their 4th stop of their tour of the Yukon. Throughout the week, the wrestlers went into the village's only school. They would help the older kids learn basic wrestling moves. The school's principal said the wrestlers can be good role models for the kids.
They're the ones who's teaching them how to build confidence, how to learn how to teamwork and how to be team players and how to build their muscles. And so it's great for the young kids to see that because we don't see a lot of that in the community.
Bike says she was surprised at how prepared the wrestlers were.
They had a whole curriculum that they did with the kids from K to 12. So it was pretty impressive.
And for those kids who were too young to learn how to roll or do kip-ups, the wrestlers became their gym teachers for the week. The effect on them was immediate as well.
The children in my class who've come back after gym class have been really excited and really happy coming back to the classroom.
All their time in the school led up to this, a free barbecue for the community and a live wrestling show at the recreation center.
I'm really excited. I don't know what to expect. I've never seen wrestling before.
It's a cool experience. Never watched wrestling. I watched WWE when I was a kid.
The barbecue and the show were sponsored in part by the Casino Mining Corporation.
Any chance we have to be in Carmacks or in any of the affected communities that we're involved with, we're happy to be there and just support, try to be good citizens and just let people know what we're about.
Then, showtime. For young Carmacks resident Jasper Charlie, he got a huge surprise by being invited into the ring.
I've done things like this before where I have to go up in front of people, so it wasn't crazy in terms of thing, but it was really cool being up there and shaking hands and meeting all these really cool people.
But then the real business began, and the crowd got really into it.
Daniel Bergy has been eliminated. Lance Romance has been eliminated. Max Davies has been eliminated.
Okay, the show is over. Everybody had a fantastic time. There are still a few people left here. The chairs are all packed. Few people left still getting pictures and autographs with the wrestlers, but everybody had a great time, especially the kids. And maybe, just maybe, for one of those kids, their road to WrestleMania begins this week. TJ Deere, CBC News, Carmacks.
Next time we got to see your moves on the mat there, TJ. If you are of a certain vintage, you might remember The Beachcombers, that TV show that ran for nearly 2 decades on CBC. Now, one of its stars wasn't an actor, but a tugboat, and it took a battering over the years. Here's Alana Kelly on the effort to get it shipshape once again.
A relic restored in all its glory.
It's a proud moment for us to see it back in really good condition. This is the paint job. Not exactly the same, but pretty much the same as it was when we first started shooting Beachcombers.
Before this, log salvaging tug became widely known as the Persephone from the Beachcombers. It was a working boat called John Henry, built in 1963.
My dad actually owned the boat.
John Smith was also a stunt double in the show.
Actually, stunt double Molly, Jackson Davies, Pat John, all the actors on the show, because none of them drove boats.
While filming, the boat got damaged.
It did start off with a wooden hull, but Bruno
ran it into some rocks, and it kind of sank.
After the show, the West Coast elements got to the boat.
It was really sad, the condition it had gotten into.
The restoration started in 2024. The steel hull was rotten and decaying.
New deck and new insides, and put all the old muffler and smokestack and everything back on there, and the log pulling apparatus, which is a huge part of it.
BC Ferries donated $25,000 to the project, and another $12,000 was raised to save the Persephone.
A very community-minded project. Lots of people came together to do this.
It's this sound many people still remember. The Beachcombers ran for nearly 2 decades on CBC.
I still have people reaching out to me, Indigenous fans, that said, you know, for the first time in my life, I saw myself on TV. Someone who looked like me.
And from the bow of the Persephone, another historic part of this seaside community is in clear view.
It's amazing, the amount of beachcombers tourism we continue to get.
They hope to raise more money to build a roof over the boat so this symbol of the past can carry on. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Gibsons.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. We leave you tonight with video from Birch Creek NWT. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.